Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Mike, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, I wish you had already had it queued up. I want you to roll the tape. We ended our interview last week. I don't get them right all the time. I recommended Tre'Quan Johnson and Deontay Harris as offensive guys who can make an impact. I got nothing better this week. I just want to rerun that.
How about an attaboy? A little clap on that one. By the way, did you pick the Saints to win?
I did not last week.
Oh.
I got that one wrong. We're not dwelling on the things I got wrong, man.
Oh, got it.
Supposed to shine a spotlight on the things I got right.
Well, this is talk radio. Of course that's what we do.
I will say this. I have consistently said throughout the offseason that I still think they're a playoff team or can be a playoff team. Although, you know, my record prediction whittled away from like 11 to 10 to 9-7-1 over time. I'm not shocked that they're still a good football team. Depth issues are still a concern, but no, I did not predict that they would win, and I did not predict that they would win by 35 points.
I did predict they'd win, Mike, by the way, on record.
Good for you.
I picked the Saints.
Good for you.
No, I did not pick the Saints 38-3. that I'm not sure anybody nailed. Hey, what was the biggest surprise for you Sunday, how it all played? I mean, obviously, but what of all the things that went well, and that was everything, what was the biggest surprise?
Yeah. Well, my biggest surprise came on the Packers' end, which I guess, therefore, I would say the Saints' defense was my biggest surprise. But I even said while we were sitting in the press box talking about how we don't know what to expect, I was like, if they were at Carolina in week one, I would have picked them to win. It was the Packers that made me think, oh, gee, what a tough draw in week one. I thought the Packers might be the NFC Super Bowl team this year, and Aaron Rodgers might just, be, having a lights out, last dance kind of season or something. And I thought, obviously, with the injuries they had on defense, that it was going to be hard to slow down the Packers' offense. So that's what surprised me. The fact that Sean Payton had a great game plan for the Heat with Green Bay in their green uniform,
right,
and back-to-back 15-play touchdown drives. I mean, we should have come to expect that from Sean Payton by now. He's brilliant at that, and he felt good about his plan against the Packers. What we did not think was that they would be able to. Look, no, I think I saw a statistical thing. It was Aaron Rodgers' worst game of his career. I don't think any of us saw that coming, especially, with Paulson Adebo as one of the starting corners, fresh out of opting out of last season at Stanford, and he picks off Aaron Rodgers among everything. The defensive tackles, who I don't know if even all the people listening right now can name. It was Malcolm Roach and Christian Ringo starting at defensive tackle, just looking every bit as good as David Onyemata and Malcolm Brown and Sheldon Rankins looked last year.
Mike, I'll confess, I had to get out my roster to confirm who Christian Ringo was when I saw him starting. I was perplexed, but it was impressive. I did. If there was one giant negative, it's the injuries, right? We saw the injury report on Wednesday. Oh, yeah. But I saw you tweeted a bit ago from practice on Thursday that Marshon Lattimore was back out there at practice. So catch us up. When did he have the surgery? And is there actually a chance he could play this week?
He was out there for stretching and then left. So unless he came back and did some drills later, we'll see the official injury report. I assume he's going to be did not participate, maybe limited participation. But I mean, obviously that's a good sign. Look, it's thumb surgery. I know there are some positions where you can, wrap your hand in a club and get back out there. So it's not surprising that he can still stretch and he can still stay in shape and he can still keep his legs fresh. And the report that did not come from us was week to week, which is obviously very vague. So I guess it's not completely out of the question, but I think no matter what, there's a lot of optimism that it will not be long term.
What about some of the other guys on the injury report? Several others were back today. Can you kind of run through? I mean, I hate to do like the roll call thing, but I mean, just kind of catch us up on where they are.
Well, I think the ones that we have a pretty good feeling are going to miss multiple weeks are Erik McCoy and Marcus Davenport. Although, I don't know if we're just talking 2, 3, 4 weeks, or if we're talking longer than that. I would not be surprised to see them go on injured reserve by the end of the week, since that's only a 3-week designation. That'll help us know their timetable a little bit, because if they don't, that means they expect them back really soon. But those guys I'm pretty confident in saying Erik McCoy and Marcus Davenport aren't going to play. Unfortunately, a new one we didn't know about, Quan Alexander, has not been out there the last 2 days, and he obviously played really good in his debut. I think he feels fairly good about their linebacker depth, but that would be a disappointing loss. Help me out here.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he looks like a maybe because he was in uniform today, although we didn't see him participating.
Okay.
It's backup linebacker, Chase Hansen, backup linebacker, Pete Werner, Tano Passignon, who played really well in that game, backup defensive end. So again, they're being whittled down when it comes to depth, and that is our biggest concern with the Saints, I think, this year is missing guys. But man, oh man, something about next man up seems to bring the best thing out of him.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett. So with McCoy out, are they going to stick with Ruiz at center and Throckmorton at guard?
Yeah, I think so. Now, they did just sign Austin Reeder from Kansas City last year, and Cleveland before that, a real experienced starting center in this league. So it's possible they could make a switch down the road if they think he's better than Throckmorton, and you move the pieces accordingly. But at least for the short term, Cesar Ruiz at center. And look, that I think Cesar Ruiz and the Saints would probably all agree that's his best position. Mm-hmm. And he was transitioning to guard. And the only reason he wasn't playing center for the Saints is because Erik McCoy is so good at it. So, I think especially after we saw it work out so well in this first game, I don't see why they'd be eager to switch that.
Okay. They're heading to Carolina. It's a division game. Another game on the road. I guess they're all technically on the road right now.
Yeah.
Why? Give me some context and sort of a reason for maybe a little bit of apprehension this week headed to Carolina.
Well, I mean, we're still talking about a Saints team that I thought going into the season was going to be having to win all their games by a field goal and keeping them close. And that brings wild cards into the game. I mean, if you're not at your best, if you lose the turnover battle 3-1, if you get a bad break here or there, I don't expect them to be rolling over teams all year long. I expect them to have to win at the line of scrimmages and win the turnover battles and win with a smart game plan. So, if there was adrenaline and emotion factoring into that first one, you can only count on that for so long. Now, I'm going to pick the Saints to win this game, but Carolina is absolutely a team that will make you pay if you don't bring your best game to them. They showed out pretty good, I think, in Matt Rule's first year, and now it's the second year of his program, second year of Joe Brady's offense there, second year of that defense there with some young players who are really good. So, and obviously a healthy Christian McCaffrey now. So yeah. I don't in any way consider this team a free pass team.
Yeah, man, I'm leery about this week with the Saints going on the road. I worry about a letdown, the division game, that whole thing as well.
No question.
I wanted to ask one more about Payton Turner, who was a healthy scratch this past week. Are we going to see him this week?
Especially if Davenport and Passignon both aren't playing, I think we for sure will. I wasn't hugely surprised that he was a scratch because he had missed 3 or 4, maybe it was 4 weeks by the time he came back that he had missed with an injury in the preseason. And that is one position where they actually have a ton of depth with they kept 5 defensive ends on the roster, and Passignon and Granderson as 2 backups are really experienced guys. So that did not surprise me a ton. But if you're going to be down 1 or 2 defensive ends now, we're definitely going to see Payton Turner. And it wasn't a matter of, oh man, like he's going to have a redshirt freshman season. Mm-hmm. He was just a little behind.
Mike, you gave us a great tidbit last week about how good the Saints have been in the Sean Payton era whenever they've had some of these adverse circumstances, right? I mean, you ran through the list of times where they've, had to move for a storm or stayed on the West Coast and have done really well. It kind of brought them together. Do you have anything like that this week with the Saints going to Carolina?
Well, it still holds true. I mean, I don't know how long that you can continue that. Most of the examples are 1 week examples. All of the examples are 1 week examples, and now maybe it's wearing a little thin. But I guess they got a whole new batch of adversity to work with the coaches out with COVID this week. Only like 4 offensive coaches out on the field. We saw Jermon Bushrod, who's interning this year, coaching the tight end, the former left tackle, today. There are things to rally around for this team still this week, and they don't. I think they're well aware of the letdown. The letdown effect. To make last week mean something, you got to keep it up. And I'll tell you who's really motivated. I wrote about this today, and you can read this story. But the defense is embracing this. We are going to lead this team. Demario Davis has said it. Cam Jordan has said it. How they used to be. They knew what their lot was. Give the ball back to the offense a few times, and you've done your job. But there is a legitimate desire among guys like Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Marcus Williams, Malcolm Jenkins say it all the time. They want to be. They want to be the best defense in the league. They want to be known as a team that shuts you down. And I don't think that's going away anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a Saints defense delivering on vow to be team's identity without Drew Brees. The byline there is Mike Triplett. You can read it at ESPN.com, as you can all of Mike's work. What a week one for New Orleans. Here's hoping they can keep it rolling this week in Carolina. Mike Triplett on Twitter, at Mike Triplett. Y'all read his stuff at ESPN.com. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.